There we are. We are live. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Is it technical issues or operator issues? All right. Are you on the stream? There you are.
There you go.
Hello and welcome to the Sledgehammer Umbrella podcast.
Yeah, whatever we're calling
I
it.
don't normally make videos like this,
Oh my
but
god, I
YouTube
just
has
now
a
get a call.
huge
Hold
problem
up.
right now.
One moment. Entertain the audience for a second.
Well, audience, here I am to entertain you once again. Me and you and I. How we doing? Feeling good? I honestly just realized today that Markiplier has the sexiest voice of all times. It's not like just realized, it's just I never really noticed, mainly due to the fact that he is just so goddamn nice. Like, look at him. Look at that face. Let's just like bring this up real quick for me. He's so like he has clear skin. Like he has skin like Christian Bale did in American Psycho.
Are
Not
you
to say
trying to
that
fuck
he's
him or compliment him?
I'm just saying, have you seen American Psycho?
No, I have not actually.
Okay, so the man is a psychopath who thinks he's well, I'm not going to say anything more. But anyways, he's very uptight about his skin and how well he treats it.
I
And
am
I feel
too.
like
Call me a
Markiplier might be
psycho.
the same way.
I hate having like not clear skin and like oily skin and stuff like that.
I mean, no, you're a teen though. You're like a little, pubescent teen that's like excreting hormones. Trust me, like that stops.
I
After
hope
some
so.
time, it definitely does. For me, like my zits on my face like drop dramatically. As long as I just clean it and not touch it every day. Like as long as I'm not rubbing my face, I'm
Just
fine.
just start rubbing your face vigorously every day.
Well, it's the hand oils or whatever else you get in
The
your hand.
hand oils.
It is. That's what it is. Your hand oil. You have a lot of oils on
Yeah,
your
I know you have a
hands.
lot of oil just everywhere in your body in general.
Greasy hands.
Humans are
Fun fact.
disgusting.
Fun fact that's not so fun. We had baby chicks at our house because we were gonna have chickens. It was like the third time we were gonna do it. So you get them as chicks to raise them up into as the chickens. And what you usually do is you put them under a heat lamp so they kind of I don't know not die on you because they still need heat. And so my sister and her roommate, they came up one weekend and they constantly kept on picking up the chicks. And my dad's like, you got to stop because the hand oils on your hand will kill them. Well, they kept picking up on one chick, I guess, because they were like, well, at least if we kill one, it's just one. And they ended up killing it. Like, completely just. And so we had to go out, dig a hole, and bury it because they felt so bad about it.
Aw. I
Yeah.
just like it. If it's only one, it's okay.
I guess that was their like my dad said like you're gonna kill the like he kept saying it to them like over and over again. I even said it to them like hey you keep doing it it's gonna die and they didn't want to believe so they were forced to believe when they had to dig the grave.
Okay, it's an interesting way of putting it.
I'll make you believe one way or another. Dig the grave.
All right. Let us actually just get into the first topic. This one, I just have the video for background at this point. But anyway, so do you want to explain? Because you actually did a little bit more research into it than I did. I just watched the video.
Well, I watched the video and I did some Twitter stuff. So, way back in the day, YouTube decided, hey, why don't we sell ourselves to Google? And then everything went to shit. So, what has happened is that Markiplier was apparently doing a stream for something that he's been promoting, I'm sure, for some time and been doing it, which is called a heist with Markiplier, which is probably I don't know, it's a stream type thing, which is a choose your own adventure. And the way that you were choosing the adventure was to do literally an emote of a red paddle or a green paddle. And not only that, it was just green or red. Like you could type it in the chat or whatever. But for whatever reason, a large amount of his viewers were banned for spamming emotes. And when they went and applied, applied for a approve. What is it? Not approval.
Appeal.
Appeal. When they appealed for it, they got denied. They just got completely shut out, and so they just lost their account. And some of them, it went even further. They didn't just lose their YouTube account; they lost their Google account, which is like that's literally not able to receive any emails. That's not being able to see your calendar. You're completely dead out of the water. Like you're dead at
Yeah.
that point. So I can't I just can't see it being like, hey, this is just a robot messed up, haha. Like they don't YouTube doesn't do that. So
What?
what's interesting to me is that like they replied saying they reinstated the accounts, but it's still like Markiplier is completely right, being like, but how did you let this happen? Like how did you just go and like like I think it was like at some point like he realized it was happening, so he had to like tell people stop voting, stop spamming, and it kind of like it's frustrating in two factors. A, he's gonna lose some portion of viewers or whatever, or some sort of activity from his viewers, because that's what a lot of some of their like any interaction they get with viewers actually helps them out big time.
Oh yeah, trust me, interaction helps. 100%. I
Yeah,
can
but yeah,
personally attest to this.
he's gonna lose. Like you're just gonna lose that, and because of it's YouTube's just banning you for interacting. Like you're not even being obscene. And he made a point about it. Like people would just have an emote, not even an emote, but like some weird, character formation shit that would come out as a dick, and they would just be like, "Yep, that's cool," but they would ban the person that's like green a lot. Like
You used a
not
green
even a
paddle.
menacing color. Yeah, green paddle.
Green paddle,
You get the
time to die.
paddle, you can't sit on the saddle. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. That was, I mean, that's just frustrating for him for sure. I think this moment I honestly realized he had a really deep voice. I've heard him a couple times, but didn't really admire it as much as I should have.
Yes. Everyone who watches Markiplier, I think, admires his voice the most. What's your most valuable skill? Well, I think it's my voice.
What do you bring to the table? My
My
voice.
voice, yeah, just that alone. Um, I mean, like this is like that is super upsetting because, like, even for me, like interaction matters more than anything. Like, even though I'm not partnered, right? I don't really make money or anything like that, but interaction. The more you interact with the stream, to me, is like, oh, that's a viewer that's actually like retaining it and actually interested in the content, and that matters more to me than like 5 viewers, just because they actually interact with it. And technically speaking, when you monetize, you can actually get more money off that like one person who like really retains and it's not just on and off or just ghosts or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have someone who's like really interactive. Like my Momodora stream was super, it had like a lot of people actually just interacting, and the people who actually retain wind up getting a little bit more viewership, and at the same time, Twitch tends to like that more. So,
Yeah, I know. Like this is a weird thing. Like if Twitch, what would happen if Twitch did this? Like
oh
this is
my god,
obviously
no! If
like
Twitch did it, it would be the end of the platform.
it would literally end them. Like, which is weird because YouTube's just at this point where they're too big to fail,
Yeah.
right? Like they are the too big to
I
fail
mean,
site.
Twitch is owned by Amazon now, so you can argue that they're that way too.
Right, but I mean Twitch is kind of flimsy right now. Like they're really easily they can piss off a lot of viewers, and you can kind of go to other quite literally you can go to other streaming services now.
Yeah, Mixer is being a huge competitor at this
Mixers,
point.
they've gone up as a competitor, even YouTube. But YouTube literally doesn't. You say, when's the last time you've been to Vimeo on purpose?
Wait, what?
I said, have you been to Vimeo ever on purpose? That's like their only competitor.
I forgot they existed.
Yeah, they're literally the Vine of this platform. Whatever you would I call it? You can't like what even platform do you call it? Like, is it just internet videos? Like,
I don't I don't know. I guess just like
because
video
to a
hosting.
point, like to the point, it's even like like Live Leak is the same thing in that context, like in that description, but
I think it
it's
just
way
counts as
different.
like video hosting platform
Yeah,
essentially.
for sure, and allowing to like build communities out of that, which
Yeah,
is pretty good.
but yeah, this one was
This
just a
is
short topic. It was probably honestly the only interesting thing that actually even happened this week. It was
right.
such a slow news
So
week.
like, here's the thing: is like I feel my tinfoil hat assumption is I feel like no, YouTube is like, let's build robots, and they built one robot to run YouTube, like the entire fucking thing. And they just then they ended up being like, yo, what are you doing? Oh, I have to manage the robot. All right, what if we built a robot to replace you now? What? You're gonna build a robot to work on the robot? Yes. Okay. What? And then they kept spy. Then it was just like frantically like, yo, we gotta fix that robot. What? Build another robot to fix that robot because that robot's already messing something up. And now it's spiraling out of control now, where they're just like constantly adding robots to fix the one robot, and it's never working. And then someone probably got the bright idea, hey, why don't we build another robot to fix the main bot? What are you're real? All right, let's do it. And then they added a whole new branch. You know, it
just
was
a
like a building
series,
tree.
just a series of robots.
Yeah, and it's a spider webbing out of robots that are connected to this one bot that's like frantically doing its best. Like, like he's like, all right, he's that one Mr. Meeseeks that hasn't died yet, and he's just like, and they're just maybe that's it. It's a Mr. Meeseeks. Yo, fix our platform. Hits the button, smacks one in. That's another idea. It's a Mr. Meeseeks
I
box
mean,
where they're constantly spawning in other Meeseeks to be like, fix his problem.
I think like the big issue is like YouTube appeal is supposed to be seen by humans, and that is like the biggest upset ever is when your appeal is just like it's obvious that you should win the appeal, and when they look at the case, they just say no. Like, do they have like a
Right.
bunch of overworked workers that are sitting there just like, huh? I need to go
Well,
home.
that's the thing is that like I don't know if you're that far in the video yet, but like in the video he shows that they're like, "Oh, we're looking into that. Don't worry about that. We're definitely looking into that." And it's like you're not looking into it at all because if it's a carefully reviewed process, why are people still getting banned? Because you can if you look at it, you look at the chat that the person that you banned, you see everything that they've written in the past 20 years or whatever, and then you see the video in context to referring to it, and you're going, yeah, that's totally right. Like you chose the wrong answer. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was someone was watching Markiplier's video being like, yo, these people are making the wrong decisions for Markiplier. Change ban them. Like what like how do you just like say that like we carefully went over all the reviews, I mean all the appeals.
We carefully went over every single appeal, and we found that you commenting a green or red emo in someone's live stream is just by far the worst offense ever. It is
Yeah,
deserving of your Google account being banned.
yeah, yeah, you're gone. You can't even make a plan to meet with your parents during the holiday. Fuck you.
Yes.
Like if they just said fuck you for the appeals and then just gave it back to them, that would have been okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you win this time, you meddling kids. Like, what? So I mean, it was kind of strange because they did reply to Markiplier the next day, so the 9th, which today's the 10th, correct?
Today is the 11th.
Nope, today is the 10th.
Oh, 10th. I
Yesterday was the
forgot
9th.
day month year
Yeah,
format. I
I was
keep.
at, I was at a comedy show last night with Dennis Leary, and the mayor of Boston showed up and was like, "We now proclaim that November 9th is Dennis Leary Day because he does a bunch of charities and is a very funny comedian." So, anyways, there he is. So it's November 9th. So they replied yesterday by saying, "Hey, Mark, apologies this happened and thanks for bringing it to our attention," as if they didn't fucking already know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even him bringing it up. It was his mods being like, "Yo, this is bad," and then he had to make a video for it. And then they just continue to write. The accounts have been reinstated, and we're looking into why the appeals were denied and how we can prevent this in the. future. Well, all right. So you're looking into why the appeals were denied. Why weren't you looking into why their accounts were suspended in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, you need to be looking into that. Like, there's no reason why the appeals should have been lost anyways, but there's no reason why they should have been suspended anyways. Like, I don't understand it.
It's
And
like
then he gets
it's like fix step 1 before you get to step 2.
right. Like, you're jumping ahead. They're building another bot. That's what they're doing. They're building a bot to work on this. Number two, and then Markiplier returns. He's like, "Hello, I appreciate the update, but there still are issues." He should have put a semicolon here, or just a colon, and then just wrote everything that he puts down because he's like, "Not all accounts are reinstated. Some are
Are
missing
you being a
videos."
grammar Nazi right now?
Well, I feel maybe a little bit. I'm not gonna. I mean, it is Markiplier. He does have like
He does have
millions
the
upon.
voice, so he's forgiven
He
no matter
has
what
the
he
voice.
does.
He is forgiven. Yes. He does have 12.5 million followers on Twitter. I might be wrong about judging him here, but so anyways, he's like, "Hello, I appreciate the update, but there's still issues. Not all accounts are reinstated. Some are missing videos. What assurance do I have that people won't be banned again during streams in the future? Why were they banned in the first place? Why ban their Google accounts?" That right there is like those are five things that are huge. Number one, why are they banning Google accounts?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, why
I
in
feel like
general?
again that's 100% indicative that they're using a bot for this program. Like, there's no way you're gonna say, "No, we aren't using a bot." Um, and again, he
Um,
does say what I say, which is, why were they banned in the first place? Like, why? Like, you're saying we're gonna look into appeals were denied, not the fact that they got banned for emoting.
we thought they
Um,
were using red paddles in a sexual context. Like,
right.
you gotta have like some stretch for that.
The other thing is kind of interesting is like asking what kind of assurance does he have that he just doesn't lose his viewers? And what I think they should do is they should just, because they have such a large audience of users, what they should do is that for anyone above 1 million subs that begins to stream, or even 500,000 or even 100,000, they can fucking make the goalpost. I don't care. If those people are streaming, if they have dedicated mods, the mods should be the only ones to ban people. Not even YouTube should be able to allow to be ban people.
Yeah, then you have the issue of like advertisers then.
That's fine. That's fair. But I mean, that's YouTube. I mean, to a certain degree, right? Like, if something's incredibly racist, like they already have their trigger words. Trigger words is me being colorful there,
Trigger
supposedly.
words.
But I mean, they already have their probably list of words of like stuff they don't want being said, sure. But I feel like emotes, uh, you should probably allow the mods to handle that stuff, even with spam.
Yeah, just like err on the side of caution and let communities decide on what they
Right.
consider acceptable and what not.
I mean, like, even Twitch has this problem, but I mean, it's Twitch has a problem with copy pastes and like other people doing stuff in that nature, but Twitch doesn't ban them. It's the
Like
mods
it's
that
typically
ban
like the
them.
mods deal with there. There's a temporary suspension handed
Right.
out.
hmm But I mean, like, the other thing they do is like, which King do a lot. He just sets it to 1 hour follower mode, so you can't just make a new account and do that. You have to be a follower for over an hour to be able to comment.
I think I have that for pretty much everything, but that's just for raids and stuff like that.
hmm
But
So YouTube did retort back saying, "We're continuing to investigate. We just opened a DM with one of your mods. Now you open the DM. Why didn't you open it up before? Like, why, why, why are you talking to this man out loud?" And then to get more information on any accounts that are still suspended. So they're actually going to try to fix this. Someone on our team now will follow up. Oh, someone on our team will follow up with you when we have more information. Which means, oops, we messed up. One more person's gonna. Oh, someone else will take this though. Don't worry. It's like, all right. So
don't
I
worry, we
feel
got that
like,
guy for that.
again, like I said, YouTube just loves bots, and they have a bot on their YouTube page, and that's just like they just retort back. Oh, it's so weird.
Or
Like,
just have a
why?
bot for the bot, just in case the bot fails.
Yeah, I feel like they just put bots on bots on bots.
Yeah.
Like, you just go to YouTube and it's just one big computer. It's.
Susan Wojcicki is actually a robot. Prove me wrong.
Yo, have you ever seen a robot and Susan Wojcicki in the same place?
Yeah,
Neither have
exactly.
I.
Yeah.
It's like, what was that one that was the AI person that was wearing rubber makeup? Like, that
I,
had rubber face on it.
ooh, I can't think of it.
Forget. And it was like that bald Swedish dude talking to it, and it's like, why? You're the creepiest man ever. Why are you talking to this person? Or robot? Why?
All right. I think we covered that actually pretty well. Like more than I thought we were gonna get.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm glad. I
so
hope it was worth it for you.
it was worth it. So obviously, it was a slow news week in general. The impeachment thing was like nothing was going on with that. You know, problems in the other countries in the world, like Iran's not doing so well. What's new?
Well,
Apple creating a sexist credit card. Who cares? Like that sort of thing.
wait, they
But
created a sexist credit card?
I looked into the story. It was just apparently people are accusing Apple of their new Apple credit card of like having adjusting credits for different genders.
Okay.
It was like, okay, that's what. I don't know. It wasn't really newsworthy. It's like it's just kind of unless it was like they fully said, "Oh, Apple actually does this." It was just no, just a sort of allegation.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah, sexist
Well, I
credit
mean,
cards.
there is the belief that like certain online prices are differ between person to person based on whatever you're browsing that shit on. So if you're browsing on your Apple laptop, it's going to be more expensive than me browsing it on my Chromebook.
Oh, that is something that does exist, but I know it's like a
Mm-hmm.
thing that exists within games. Like microtransactions will adjust their prices
Yeah.
based on how much you normally spend. But
Yeah. I don't know. That gender thing's pretty interesting.
mm,
It's like
eh,
pay more or pay less because you're female. I don't know.
well, we know that you spend a lot and you're horrible with your money because you're a female.
We know
Like,
you can't control yourself and your impulses when you're shopping because you're female.
yeah, basically. I
It's
think
like,
that's the
oh,
logic.
don't you think you're spending a bit much today, Karen? Don't need another soy latte, do you?
Alright.
All right, we're good to go.
Anyway, so it was a slow news week, so or rather, I decided there was no we in this one, um, to actually do some console debunking. This is like something that was super popular last year when like there was
Okay.
a big swing of people moving from console to PC, but now it's like kind of tamed down. Really, the only thing that's sparking the debate again is like the new consoles that are going to come out in 2020. So this video is by the good lovely JTech TV, who has me blocked on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Lovely JTech, you're great.
Yo, I'm not even blocked on Twitter from this man.
I mean, don't worry if you follow Rags or any sort of anybody who he
I'm
considers
gonna
to be
give JTech a
PC
follow right now.
elitist. If you follow anyone that he considers PC elitist, then you will just simply get blocked.
Well, I mean, I don't. You can't just like home base one side based off of your fucking garbage device. Like, I honestly, my favorite thing ever was I'm not gonna be able to find the picture of it. But it was a picture of someone holding a controller, a DualShock 3, and it was literally encrusted in like Dorito grime.
Oh my god, it's disgusting. I hate
And
people who do
everyone's
that.
like, "Oh my god, I can't believe like killed that man." And I just write, "Ew, symmetrical joysticks." Like I can't like after I've used place like I played PlayStation before. I didn't play a whole lot of it. A friend of mine had a PS2 when that came out. Played a bunch of that with him. I ended up getting a GameCube because my parents didn't love me and they didn't get us anything. And my sisters got us the GameCube back when it was like $99. So that's what I had. So that kind of did help with my. And then when I got an Xbox, I love the Xbox, and that I can't use a PS4 controller at all. So that's my only qualm with it, but I'm sure I could get over that with buying a fucking Mad Catz controller or whatever the fuck you need to use. What's not Mad Catz? What's the other one that's out now?
Control Freak. I think those are
That's it.
controllers now, and then Evil controllers. Yeah, there's a ton.
There's a bunch of them, and it's not, it's not uncommon for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't see even in sports, like I can understand sports because it's location based, but even then I don't get offended when people like my team loses.
Some people really take it way too serious.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think it's
wait,
because
so
they have
I
money down.
I just searched JTech TV, and this dude just says, "What the fuck did I say?" And it's just like him being blocked immediately from JTech. So this man just wants to block people. This isn't gonna be hard.
Yeah, he's trigger happy.
He's very trigger happy. I want to see how long before I'm gonna give him a follow so he knows I'm going, and then I'm just gonna say like PS4 dumb. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me
Check
tweet at him.
tomorrow. You're just gonna be blocked instantly.
Tomorrow this is going to be an update constantly.
just the moment you just the moment you even tweet at him, you get instantly blocked. He's got like a
I'm
he's
not
got like
even
a
going to say
bot.
no. I'm not even going to make it that. I'm just going to say symmetrical joysticks bad. All right, so go ahead.
All right, but yeah, so I figured console debunking. Why not? So JTech is actually infamous as being a PlayStation fanboy. He's even a part of like this whole like PlayStation Legion cult thing he's got going on. But just I scouted out this video and it just it's dumb. I even brought an example. I put my debit card on the line for something in this video.
Oh no.
So just to prove a point. So let's just get into the video. It's dumb.
Okay.
Oh wait, should I screen share to you over Discord real quick? Because that way
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
I'll
See if
do
you
that.
can do it.
I have it on Chrome, so it should be fine. Just let me know if you can hear. Let me turn up the volume.
Oh, this is you. Okay, that's. I'm like, why is there? Can we just hear that sweet
All right.
PS4 turn on thing again?
There you go. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. That transition is so bad.
Showing you guys the Decima engine. I asked the Twitter community if they wanted me to test out the PC version of PlayStation Now, and the reason why I asked you guys that is because I haven't saw Frutanga or any of the other PC fanboys actually stream any PS4 exclusives using the streaming service. So if you see anybody attempting to tease you, let them know that they're not actually using the service.
I like it. It's like a cult. Like, if you see anyone from the opposing team tease you, just understand it's because they're bad.
If you see anyone, tell them I said hi, and I believe in you, not them. Like, all right.
Anyway, I'm gonna just let this continue, and then I will prove my point.
We have no visual evidence from any of the bigger PC fans using that service, so we should just assume that all of them are actually not using that service.
Okay, so
What is this man saying? So I'm gonna assume that they're not using this service. Like what?
they don't talk about it, so therefore they're not doing it, right?
Right.
So to prove a point, I actually, and you have to look on the stream to see this, Spike, but I actually downloaded PS Now. I logged on to my PlayStation account, and I actually
Oh no, you had to
got a trial of PS Now.
Yeah.
My debit card's on the line. I have to cancel in order to prove the fact that yes, you can play PlayStation exclusives on PC, and a matter of fact, I will do it right now.
You're on the stream? Oh, you're okay. You're clicking on the stream.
And then I go to game cap here.
The only thing that's busted with you screen sharing, it does take away the voice thing. I will say that.
Yeah, where it's like it lowers the voice thing. Yeah. So this is
you're able to play. Oh my god.
This is visual evidence. This is God of War loading up right now. Da 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 da. And the only thing that's required is that you need a PS4 controller, which I already had. You mean it's not detected.
Really?
1 second.
That's
yeah.
all you need?
Yeah, it just requires a PS4 controller. That's it. Oh, let me disable Steam. I think that's why it's being wonky.
It's so funny.
And he's just over here just like, oh, you can't do it. It's just impossible because no one's shown evidence for it. I have to keep plugging in real quick. There we go. See?
I also have to... Yeah, I see that.
God of War. Continue.
Right.
I even played
I'm still
just
not
a tad
blocked
bit
by
of it.
him, though. He hasn't responded, but he hasn't blocked on me.
So,
I don't know if I...
This is like the dumbest thing ever, too. And you can play... I think there's only a few games on here that, like, you just are... that are available on the PS4, but just aren't available through the service. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn is, like, the one notable exception that I just, like... I didn't notice it on here. But, like, if it wants to load... And the only thing that sucks about it is that you can't change the resolution or the frame rate, so it's capped at 30. And
that's
720p. Yeah, it's so bad. I don't understand how console players actually deal with this. It's
30.
just horrible.
I don't know how I ever did.
But yeah, you can play it.
I mean, streaming, watching you play this is not bad.
Yeah, when you look on the stream, it's not bad, but like actually playing it, like there's so much input delay on top of the actual 30 FPS.
I do not
really?
know. Now
Yeah,
be silent.
we
are almost home.
It's not great. But yeah, you can literally just play God of War if you wanted to right now. You could go pay like $10 a month or $8 a month. I forget how much it is, and then you can play every PlayStation exclusive outside of like a few things. So
pretty cool.
I put my debit card on the line just to prove a point.
Now you can remove that debit card.
Yeah, I'm immediately canceling it.
You can just go ahead and cancel that now.
Yeah. So I don't think what people understand. Actually, he'll get into it a little later in the video, but I don't think people understand that like people on PC sometimes, and quite a few of them, just don't care. Like, I can make you a laundry list of PC exclusives that I love and enjoy.
Yeah.
And then if I give it to the list of PS4 games that I'm like interested in, it will be a smaller list. I can guarantee you that. Like, I don't care. And even if the list of exclusives were the same, it doesn't matter because I get to play every multiplayer on a better system.
Right.
So what does it matter to me? So that's kind of like where it's like I don't understand this whole like emphasis on like exclusives and stuff when it comes to like the fanboys talking. It's like I don't care. I literally just don't care. You have God of War, cool. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, like, for some point, it's one thing to be like, oh, I want to be able to play the new Pokemon games. But, like, for me, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to hardcore play Pokemon like I once did. Like, so, and I don't know. Like, Breath of the Wild still amazes me. I can't stand the Joy-Cons, like, using that as a main thing.
Yeah,
So,
and the other thing, too, is, like, people don't understand performance and how the game looks can affect if you like it or not. Like, I played God of War on the streaming thing. It looks awful. Like, I remember people, like, claim, like, the game looks amazing, and when I saw videos of it, it's like, it looks like, okay. It's not amazing, though. I don't understand why people are, like, praising up and down. The best-looking game on PlayStation. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. It's the best-looking game on a console that, like, were out of date the moment they came out.
Right. I mean, they literally have, like, what? completely obliterated them now, like with specs coming out. Like
Yeah,
Google Stadia is claiming to do better, and you're not even gonna have a console for that.
yeah,
You're just gonna have a fucking controller and a fucking USB drive. Like that's all you're gonna have.
yeah. I can't understand for the life of me why people are just sworn out. Just like
Yo,
why defend these consoles? They weren't that great.
what? Oh God, there's a new one of the recommended Twitter people is JDub, and he might be a PS4 fanboy. He
Everyone,
may or
everyone around him is a PlayStation Legion fanboy. It's so bad.
oh my God, racing enthusiast, gaming enthusiast, philanthropist, comedian, entrepreneur. North Pole, Alaska? No, or is that Arkansas? I don't remember. No, Alaska's AK. Yeah, so
But anyway, let's get back in the video. I'm not playing the whole video, or else we'll kind of lose brain cells halfway through it. So
go right ahead.
anyway,
I still work on the premise of if you can't see it, there's no real reason for me to believe it, right?
gravity doesn't exist. I can't see it.
Believing is seeing. Seeing is believing.
Dude,
Like,
gravity doesn't exist. I can't see it, so therefore it doesn't exist.
Neither does time. You can only mark it, but you can never see it
See
in
it,
action.
yeah.
Like what?
I can't see time, so therefore it doesn't exist. I mean, what? Let's take it.
If I don't go out and look for it, Mount Everest isn't the tallest mountain. The tallest mountain's out in my backyard. What are you saying, guy? I hate this man. Why did you make me hate this man? You're not even making me hate this man. Why are you putting this man in front of me? He's the most ignorant person out there right now. Jeez.
That's why I said only half. We'll lose too many brain cells on the way.
All right. Keep it going.
Okay, so we're going to talk about two different types of exclusives and compare them to Death Stranding. So the first one is pretty simple. Bloodborne. Sony owns the IP. From Software Studio worked with Japan Studios, which is a Sony first-party studio. And with Death Stranding, Guerrilla Games worked with Kojima Productions, which of course Guerrilla Games is a first-party studio. The difference between the two is that Guerrilla Games had the engine that Kojima is using. So not only is the IP owned by Sony, like in Bloodborne's case, but the engine is owned by Sony, which was not the case in Bloodborne. From Software had their own engine because they used that engine again for the upcoming Dark Souls 3. You see how that's a little bit different. So if you go on to Persona 5, it's completely different. Persona 5 doesn't have an engine.
All right, real quick. What's the deal with like I gotta admire them, but like Sony ponies, these men literally all they do is play Sony games. They don't play like strictly Madden games or strictly, I mean, like they don't just stick to a certain genre. They play everything that PS4 comes out. The PS4 comes out with.
Yeah, it's just like if it's made by Sony, backed by Sony, I must have it.
Yeah, like Sony owns the IP and the engine. I'm getting that bitch. I'm putting it in my throat. I'm putting it up my ass. I'm putting it everywhere on me. I'm gonna wear shirts. I'm gonna get tattoos. Doesn't matter. Sony approved.
Yeah,
It's like if Sony approved a presidential candidate, you know damn well those mans with their fucking goddamn fedoras are gonna show up and be like, "He's my guy."
Yeah, he's my guy. He's got like an army of supporters of just doesn't even matter if he says we should. It's just we should.
It could be Trump. It literally could be Trump, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. Sony.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. You know what? That's I'm gonna tweet out Ace Watkins right now. Gotta tell him if you get backed by Sony, there's no way you're ever gonna lose loyalty.
Oh my god! And by the way, like the whole point of this video is to say like the Decima engine, which is gonna be the engine that Death Stranding is gonna be on. Apparently the PC can't handle it. I don't know if maybe he should retitle his video because it makes no sense. And also, It's kind of funny. I know this video is from like October 11th, and it got announced like later. But Death Stranding is coming to PC summer 2020.
Right.
So yeah,
That must crush. That must have crushed.
yeah. When you heard that, I think he had like a video later saying like, "Oh, PC players won't show enough support that us console gamers will." Look at RDR2. It's like Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't receive as much support in the first place because it didn't launch on all platforms, so people probably got on consoles first. Like the people who own both are here's a thought. Uh, there was some technical issues at the start of the launch of that game that caused people to have to actually have issues with it. So people are like anticipating issues, so they don't want to buy the game just yet. Yeah. It's like he doesn't use his brain.
He just uses his feelings and makes an opinion based off of that.
That's what it feels like. Anyway.
That was made by any Sony first party. Sony does not own the Persona 5 IP, but Atlas and now Sega, which is the person that owns Atlas, they're not bringing Persona 5 to other platforms. Even if they were going to attempt to do that, they would probably start with the earlier Persona games. Let's just go over a little bit of history. We will get to the gameplay, don't worry. Persona 1 and 2 were only on PlayStation 1. Persona 3 and 4 were only on PlayStation 2. Persona 5.
Okay, first off, they don't really necessarily have to bring the first 4 Persona games. Like, I mean, look at Metal Gear Solid. They didn't bring out any of the other games before then on PC, but Metal Gear Solid 5 comes out and it's a grand slam.
Right.
Same thing with other Sega titles. I know Yakuza's like actually getting a full rework all the way from the beginning, but and it's also another game that's enjoying very, very well in sales. And I think Sega was like the first one to say like, "Hey, this PC thing, yo, it's pretty good."
I feel like if you can have it emulated and put on a flash drive, it runs on PC, sir.
Basically.
Like, Pokemon Gold doesn't technically run on PC, but it does.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if someone really wanted to go through and play, like, PS1, if someone wanted to go play the first 4 Persona games, they really can't emulate it. And if you wanted to do it technically the legal way is you have to buy a copy and then emulate it. But you can buy it that way.
Right.
And play it. But yeah, like, I don't understand this argument of just like, well, they'd have to bring out the whole entire series. It's like, no, many games have actually just started out on PC. Like, for example, the original Witcher never came to consoles ever once. Yeah. But right. Witcher 2 came out and it was a pretty modest success for them. And then Witcher 3 came out all platforms and it was a grand slam.
Right. I think like so I mean like consoles is kind of the thing where it's like you make it so you can mass market it to a large group of people. Like console audiences are immensely large, but because mainly due to the fact that they're super accessible, they're very low maintenance, if any at all, and anyone can just get one. Like to build a PC is one thing, and then to manage it is another. Like that's a full-time job at some points. Like today, we're trying to boot up an old-ass game, and it takes like 9 years because you have to fucking set up a certain drive, and you gotta fucking log in your account, and it's like what? Everything else is just connected now. Like you turn on your Xbox, like, yep, we own the game. Cool. All right, get going, and that's it.
Yeah, that is one thing that I do have to know about PC in general is like if it's an older title and it doesn't have like a remaster or something of it, be prepared to do a little bit of work on your end. It's just because it's old, like it was meant for older hardware, so you have to try and like basically try and make it work on new hardware, and that requires some work sometimes if they just give out the files like Steam does, and Steam can be really annoying with older games. But
right.
You know, stuff like that I think is like acceptable. It's like you're playing a game from like 10 years ago. I think it's okay if you have to put in a little work to get it working. And really, I think the big maintenance part is probably like the first like 3 days of owning a PC. It is not really stressful to manage one at all. Unless, you know, you do stuff like me, in which case, like, you flash a new BIOS on your goddamn graphics card, in which case, yeah, it is a full-time maintenance.
Yeah.
But, Anyway, let's continue.
5 was only on PS3 and PS4. Then you also had Persona.
Oh, which, by the way, you can play Persona 5 on PC because of our PS3. So yeah, there's that.
1, 2, and 3 on the PSP platform, and then you had Persona 4 Golden on the PS Vita platform.
Wait, people actually own that?
Yeah. I mean, if it's there, they'll get it.
I remember
Like,
the PS Vita.
Anytime there was a special edition of something, and I had the opportunity to get it, I wouldn't get it. It was always, oh, this is all you have? Okay. So, I don't understand why PS Vita was like such a heartfelt thing. Like, these guys literally just.
You keep cutting out.
Because. Do I? I'll have to fix that. I think I know what it is. But, I don't know. Sony Pony's gonna do what Sony Pony's do best.
Yeah, I just don't understand why. And by the way, this guy had to do research for all this. Like, he put thought.
Did he?
I mean, not much, but he, like, looked into the history of this. Like, he went to, like, oh, what's the history of PlayStation? And just immediately went through it all. Anyway.
If you're looking at the main...
Wait, can you get a job as a PlayStation historian? Because I feel like you do pretty well in it.
You might be able to. I don't know. I mean, I think the internet just does that job better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's, like, a website for that shit.
Probably.
For Persona games, they have always been exclusive to PlayStation. I have no control over that. I don't work for Sony. I don't work for PlayStation. I'm just telling you the facts. This is the history as we know it. You can choose to ignore it, but that makes you ignorant.
Why is he treating this like such a gotcha? It's just like, you literally just explained history. Like, what?
Shame on you. Shame on you. Like, what? This is history. This is bad.
Like, what's your point?
Also, like, can we get a move on with this video, dude? Like, you're rambling on the past 3 minutes.
I know. Like I said, I'm only going half of this because it turns into nothing.
But these are the facts. So obviously, the very, very tight relationship that Atlus has had with Sony over many generations kept this game exclusive. Even though Sony doesn't own the IP and they don't have an engine that is used to make that game. Death Stranding, again, very similar to the issue that is keeping Bloodborne away from the PC, but still more severe since Sony's first-party studio, which is a Guerrilla Game, that use the Decima engine, and this exclusive, which is Horizon Zero Dawn, is using that engine to produce Death Stranding.
You know, I have a theory on why Bloodborne's not coming to PC, because people would eat that game alive for just being a fast-paced Dark Souls 2.
Right.
Like, I don't think people understand the PC audience is actually harder to cater to, because they're pickier, and their, like, level of quality is much higher. Like, they expect more.
Well, they expect the most.
Yeah. Like,
bitch, my computer can run at 4,000 frames. Your game should be able to run.
Which
or
I'm
at
still,
least half that.
At least I'm still kind of upset with the RDR2 thing, people complaining about performance. It's like, dude, I don't think you understand, but the game at Ultra is meant for, like, hardware in future.
Right.
Just, like, put it to medium, or is, like, having a game put to medium just hurt your feelings or something.
I think someone said, like, if you want I think you said it was like, if you want Red Dead Redemption to work right, or you want a game to look as good for max settings, play an older game.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's good. Like, I played, oh man, what was it, Max Payne 2, and I just installed a bunch of mods, and it looks really good. Like, it does not look like it came out the time it did.
Yeah.
It looks better, but anyway.
So, we're gonna play around with Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a gorgeous game. The Decima engine is...
It's a gorgeous game.
Okay.
Like, do we just take his word for it, or do we critique his ass for it?
So you just up the ante on that. I don't know if the streaming's gonna come out that well, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure,
I could
like.
probably judge for myself if I bring up the video.
No, like if just look up an actual like gameplay of it with like a 4K 60 upload, I promise you it doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
I just
Good.
I can't.
It's amazing. One thing I've noticed, and I'm pretty sure other people.
By the way, he had that in photo mode just for the initial part.
Yeah.
He had to be dramatic.
Yeah, because that's how you get them in. You don't show the actual game; you show a cinematic of the game.
Have noticed. The
No, I can't. Even I want. I'm trying. I can't.
Like
No.
I'm actually watching this right now, and it's. Is this HD? This is 1080.
Yeah, it's in 1080p, but it's with PlayStation screen cap. That's why I said like find gameplay of it in like 4K 60 off like
It's
an
30.
Elgato.
It's still 30 FPS.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. And I hate that too. Like, okay, when people talk about graphics, frame rate is included, generally speaking, because a low frame rate really can like
Like that's the
destroy
thing
an
is like
experience.
for me, what was funny was like I used to claim it was like a movie that had a high frame rate was a BBC movie, like anything from networking or whatever. I claimed those had high frame rates.
Okay.
Well, no, because they did have a higher frame rate. So anything that did have a high frame rate or was captured that way but wasn't able to see it, like a Harry Potter, I think it was like
Yeah,
the
it was on the Harry
second
Potter
one.
movies. They doubled the frame rate to be 48 FPS.
Right, and I never saw that because we never had a computer. Like, I think I saw the second movie on a CRT. That's how old it was at the time because it came out in like 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
And so I feel like BBC or anything filmed in England was a higher frame rate automatically. And that's just what it looked like. That's just like anything it looked like. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's BBC. That was a BBC production.
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, that's all I could think of. But like now, like me playing any game and having a really good frame rate, and then seeing console garbage, it's like what?
Like how did
Like I don't even know how like any of my videos on YouTube like exist because of that. Like I don't know how I played anything.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's a frame rate once you get used to it. Like I have a 144 hertz monitor, right? Like I legit playing 60 looks choppy to me. Like I can deal with it. That's fine. 60 is tolerable. That's why I consider it to be the bare minimum. But 30 FPS gives me headaches. It's so bad.
Yeah. Right now I'm looking at BBC right now. They've jumped from 2008 and they jumped their frame rate from whatever it was to 100 FPS.
Yeah, there are because
Like
there are TVs coming out.
Yeah, national television hasn't even done that.
Yeah. It's just because there's TVs coming out with like 120 hertz now and stuff like that because of interpolation. But yeah, it makes a huge difference. It really does. And Horizon Zero Dawn isn't that great looking game. You ever played Witcher 3 at max settings? Guarantee you. It's amazing.
See, I have the opportunity to do that through. Is that I don't know? Is that through Steam?
It's through Steam.
Okay, so I would have to close my Steam account. I could actually play that on max settings right now and then screen share that.
It's beautiful. It's like one of the best looking games, especially for a game that came out like 2014, 2015.
2015. 2015.
Yeah, it came out in 2015. It looks amazing.
Because I got in 2017 and I'm like, dude, this game is better than what was the game that came out? I think it was like it was something else that came out that year. I was like, how does this game exist and then that other game does? Like, what the fuck? I was so mad.
Yeah, Witcher 3 came out and it was like basically the open world benchmark of a game.
Legit.
But yeah, anyway, let's head to the next video. Now, this is the video I was talking about that it was gonna make my head explode.
Okay.
The other one I lost brain cells over. This one I wanted to die.
I could see that because it's like showing PC stuff.
It's this, like, my problem with Colt Eastwood is that he talks in a way that makes sense, but he says nothing but dumb things. It's like when he says it makes some sort of sense if you have like no knowledge at all, but
Right.
to have knowledge and look back at what he says is just infuriating. I think that's why he has such a big fan base. 'Cause if you don't know anything, he sounds like an actual smart guy, and his editing is actually pretty decent. So like,
Well, that's all right. That's semi enjoyable. Did everything just crash because like it's so weird.
anyway, you ready for the next video? Cause God, I'm done. I can't.
Oh yeah, go right ahead, man. I'm like, it's literally not even loading right.
I know.
Recently, tech enthusiast Digital Foundry
They're
built
loud.
an Xbox Scarlet and PS5-like PC with current hardware to prove that next generation will finally be an actual generational leap.
Yeah, I watched that video. That's kind of why this is even more infuriating.
But just the cost to meet a new console with a desktop PC build says a lot about how fast hardware and tech is evolving
Is
and
that
how
the
expensive.
actual?
They
PS5?
PlayStation made a patent, and someone made it like a design out of it, and that's actually what
okay.
it's gonna look like. It's an official patent, so that's probably what it's gonna wind up looking
They're
like.
making it look like a V for 5. Okay.
expensive
Okay.
it can be to keep up with the latest in graphics and performance.
Oh, by the way, Cole Eastwood, I want to thank you for uploading this in 4K 60, even though your gameplay is in like you're on console, so it's probably like 1080p. So I will thank you. You become another like you become another piece of evidence that consoles don't look that great. So.
Yep.
I don't understand why he's so in love with Xbox though. That's what I
This
want
is
to know.
Colt Eastwood. Today we're going to break down the desktop hardware required to meet the
The music is so goddamn like intense.
Yeah.
Like you feel like
Burn and murder.
like I feel like he's just like about to brief you on the end of the world.
I mean, this is Battlefield 2. This is all right.
Battlefield 2. I'm pretty sure Battlefield 2 would look like it came out in 2005.
This is like weird. So.
Yeah.
standard
Alright,
that
my game is
Xbox
loading.
Scarlet and PS5 will bring to console gaming in 2020. We don't have the full accurate specs of the next generation consoles, only the architecture, target power, and general hardware. We're going to revisit this right here in full on my channel when the full specs are revealed February 2020. But for now, if you're good with the discussion on the hardware target and what it looks like as a PC gamer on your wallet, hit the like and subscribe button. If you've been with the channel a while and want to
I don't care.
those that want to support the channel. For the rest of you, let's have a look at what it takes to build a next generation console like PC.
It's so intense. It's like so dramatic for no reason.
On PC.
Yeah, like I feel like that he's like announcing the next Game of Thrones episode.
All right. NVIDIA Hairworks anti-aliasing.
I mean, if you really want to see the true beauty, turn everything on, Hairworks included. Your game will cry, but Hairworks included.
Preserve system gamma.
Yeah, do
I'm
that.
not even gonna bother. Well, that one's restarting my thing.
But yeah, just have fun and just turn it to max settings. You'll see what I mean.
Next generation Xbox Scarlet and PS5 are Navi and Zen 2 based consoles with semi-custom AMD hardware powering a box that is no longer
Power in a box. Semi-custom AMD power in a box.
Where am I? I'm just fucking around. Am I? Oh, that's where I am at. Oh, this person's progressed.
Did you hear what he said?
No.
Semi-custom AMD power in a box.
No. Oh no, sir.
What does that mean?
Longer bound by 30 FPS.
Okay,
Hardware
so real quick, I'm playing Witcher 3-ish. It honestly, this is bad. Like I've put up everything, and everything looks like a JPEG if I'm looking at it from like directly at it.
What do you mean?
Like if I get up to it, there's like the texture's like decent, but then if I get really close to it, like if I'm looking directly at the ground, it just looks like a solid JPEG.
Well, yeah, if you look literally directly at it close up, yeah, the texture quality doesn't hold up because it is from 2015.
This is like, yeah, it's literally just a JPEG.
Yeah, the texture quality on like some things like grass and stuff like that don't hold up because that time.
Not only that, it's just like if I'm running up next to this wall, it's just a fucking flat wall.
Yeah, parallax occlusion. Like I said, it's a really good looking game, but of course there are some things that show its age a little bit. But even then, if you're just going through the game casually, you don't notice it.
Right.
There's a lot of that stuff like parallax occlusion and like texture resolution, like they weren't really a huge factor into those type of games because they are made for consoles first and foremost. And then now with PC taking the big forefront, there's like games that have texture quality that requires like 12 gigabytes of VRAM. It's like, oh, okay, so you're trying to make real life in a game. Gotcha.
Oh.
Anyway, but yeah, like the grass and stuff, like the things that are really dense. They're just kind of JPEGs layered together to make it look a little bit better.
Yeah, I could screen share real quick. There you go. A little Witcher 3 coming at you. There you
We're on a big sidetrack, by the way.
I know.
100%.
Real quick, this is one of the more bigger areas. My frame rate is dropping track.
Oh, I think this is like the meet Yennefer at the Magical Cataclysm. Oh, that's in like the Viking area.
Yeah, yep. And I can do a little bit of parkour, and then I can die if I jump. Unless I land in the water. This says Skyrim rules. It doesn't matter how much water there is, as long as there's a puddle, you will not die.
But yeah, like Geralt looks actually really good. Like I said, texture resolution I think is the only thing that really doesn't hold up well.
I want to go fight a creature.
But other than that, it's a really great looking game. And part of that has to come from art style too, but
And yeah, I mean it's got different inspirations that it's taking from. Apparently the game, what is it? FE? I used the potion. Well, alright. But apparently the game, I mean the movie, not the movie, TV show, the Netflix series, is gonna be more of a, which I'm okay with. Because the game should be more like than it actually is. So
anyway,
interesting.
I don't really want to detract from it because it's not something like the viewers can look at too much. So I just want to get onto the video, if you don't mind.
Absolutely not.
Let's see.
Accelerated ray tracing has also been confirmed for both.
Yeah, RTX got confirmed for the next generation consoles. Do you know what RTX is, first of all?
Yes, it's ray tracing, isn't it?
Yeah. Specifically, it's NVIDIA's implementation of DirectX ray tracing. So, ray tracing is not an NVIDIA only feature. It's actually a Microsoft feature available through DirectX. So if you had DirectX 12, you can actually use it. But RTX is specifically how they have like hardware to accelerate the ray tracing.
Right.
But that's just a particular difference. So ray tracing is supported on the next gen consoles, right? But of course, there's no AMD hardware right now that supports it. So at least at the consumer level, there might be like probably like a few development kits floating around that support ray tracing, but as of right now, there's no consumer hardware that you can actually go out and buy from AMD that supports ray tracing. As of right now.
Right.
But also stop screen sharing because the audio comes through.
Oh. I'm
Both
enjoying The
PS5
Witcher. Leave me alone.
I know you're enjoying The Witcher, but like I can't have the audio going through.
Okay.
and Xbox Scarlet, and that is an important factor in the quest to build a new PC that will keep up with the new consoles launching in 2020. One assumption we have to make among many is what marketing experts and industry leaders agree that PS5 and Scarlet will launch at $500 or lower, but let's keep it at $500.
Wait, why or lower? I think it was pretty much confirmed that it's gonna be $500.
It usually is right out the gate, isn't it? Like out of the gate, wasn't Xbox One X 500?
Yeah.
Still is, or it's at like 400 right now.
I don't know about right now, but I think out of the gate was $500. But anyway,
Disclaimer, PC will always be the most
I don't care.
power. This video does not imply that consoles can be more powerful than a PC, but looking at cost, the next generation area is very gray. Basic requirements for a Scarlet and PS5 like PC build are as follows. A fast capable CPU that can reach up to 3 GHz.
What?
A fast, capable CPU that can reach up to 3 gigahertz.
All right. I like these photos that he's in his fucking. Look at these JPEGs of the
I
fucking
know.
Xbox controller and the.
So I want to point out, I want to know what a fast, capable CPU is. What is that?
It's just a fast, capable CPU, man. It's a bot. You know what? You know what's not a fast, capable CPU? One of the bots in the daisy chain of bots at YouTube.
But like, I love it. He puts a fast, capable CPU that reaches up to 3 gigahertz. I don't think he understands there's CPUs from 3 years ago, or not 3 years, but like 6-7 years ago that can reach 3 gigahertz, and I promise you they will perform horribly.
Yeah.
But it reaches 3 gigahertz, and it is capable of running Crisis.
Persona 5.
Oh yeah, Persona 5, my bad. Alright, so let's see his second requirement.
A GPU with enough memory bandwidth and VRAM for 4K gaming.
What does that mean? Like he's not... VRAM, so VRAM is the thing that's on graphics cards. Essentially it controls like how much memory is in the... how much like data can hold at a specific given time.
Okay.
So, like in like texture resolution is a big thing that VRAM is dependent on. But yeah, so like, what is enough memory bandwidth? Because like, okay, let's give him like some credence, right?
Wait, doesn't the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X? Like, they do 4K right now.
They do 4K, but as far as if it's enough VRAM for 4K gaming, technically they never hit 4K most of the time, so it's like, eh.
Oh, okay.
But let's actually give these numbers if we can, right? So enough memory bandwidth, I don't even know what I can give that as a number, because like, okay, let's say like bare minimum for 4K is going to be an RX 5700 on AMD side, and then RTX 2060 on NVIDIA side, right? The memory bandwidth is totally different. Like, right. I think an RTX 2060 has a 486 gigabytes per second bandwidth, and then on the RX 5700, it's at like 330. Like, it's totally different. But because it's like, it's dependent on like your architecture. That's what really affects performance. Like, he mentions these things as if like, oh, if this one is better, then it's superior. It's like, no, it's dependent on architectures and how they interact with each other. Only from like an architecture to another architecture, like that's on the same thing from product to product, will it actually make a difference. But you can't just say like, well, this one has a bigger number, so therefore it's better. Just ask AMD and Bulldozer. Like, they had 4 gigahertz processors, but they all sucked. So you can't give a number to that one, because it can be wildly different things. And then enough VRAM for 4K gaming. Admittedly, we can probably put in a number on this, because for most people are going to say like, hey, if you're going to game at 4K, 8 gigabytes of VRAM for your graphics card is probably the best thing for you to do. But when it comes to consoles, that one's muddy, because they use the same RAM they use for their graphics memory is the same. That's what they did with the Xbox One. That's why I had like 12 gigabytes of RAM, but it was just shared, so it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, but technically you could justify for like 6 gigabytes of RAM for 4K gaming. So really, that's another one that's like, what is enough exactly? What is a fast capable CPU? I don't like it. He doesn't give numbers. He just says, okay, it's this thing. It's so annoying.
Hardware accelerated ray tracing.
I think that's the only thing that's actually literal. Everything else was like, it's fast and capable and has enough. It has VRAM for 4K. And then there's finally something.
Well, what it made it, I'm slightly triggered by the fact that he has hardware accelerated and ray all capitalized. Hardware sure, accelerated and then not tracing. What? Like, is tracing not included?
Hey, look, he works hard in his editing. Okay.
Yeah.
Tracing and an SSD.
Yeah, an SSD. That's not actually a random requirement. Okay. They did say like they're gonna put an SSD within the new consoles, which hey, good for them. I like it.
Yeah.
Digital Foundry built an impressive PC with all of the amenities of a next generation console.
What the fuck are the amenities for a next generation console? Like, what are amenities for a console?
I feel like amenities for a console is literally just on. Oh, it has a home. It will automatically, my PC automatically logs me into Discord as soon as I touch into it. Oh, and Steam and my Epic client. Like, it just logs into whatever browser, whatever you use to just access all your games at once. I feel like that's an amenity for, but other than that, it's just like, oh, it has everything that a console has. All right, cool. Which a PC already does by being a PC.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where a console is a PC, but a PC isn't a console.
Right.
But yeah, you can't. I mean, even that's
like
a whole other argument.
All pedophiles have mustaches, but not all people with mustaches are pedophiles.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Hitler had a dog. That is my favorite thing to write, by the way. Whenever someone does some like weird like stretch thing to be like, oh, he's racist. Oh, really? How? And it's like they explain, and it's like, oh, well, Hitler drank water too.
So therefore,
we're all racist.
Anyway,
with a couple of fundamental flaws. First,
all right, Cole, I don't want to hear you saying
amenities and fundamental. All right, continue.
I don't want to hear him saying that there's fundamental flaws when he literally misspelled stuff. Or not misspelled, but he messed up capitalization.
I know.
Fundamental flaws.
First off, they never communicated the cost of the build.
I wonder why.
Okay.
Like,
I'm sure you could probably just price it out yourself, but whatever.
Oh, no, don't worry, he did.
Oh, I'm glad.
So, there's two things wrong with that statement. It's so wrong. So, the point of the original Digital Foundry video was to basically show, like, the difference in architecture performance. So, like, back when Xbox and PlayStation came out with their first consoles, they were using the Jaguar architecture along with Polaris. So what they are doing is that they are taking equivalent hardware, so Jaguar and Polaris GPUs and CPUs, and they are comparing it to Navi, which is confirmed, Navi 10 in particular, which was confirmed for the consoles, and they are taking Zen 2 and comparing it to the last generation architecture. Yeah. So they were trying to make an architecture comparison. That's why they never mentioned the price of the build, not JTech, but Colt. They didn't mention the price of the build because it didn't matter. Plus, the video was sponsored.
Oh.
So, fundamental flaw, dude. They didn't mention the price because it didn't matter. It wasn't their goal. That wasn't what they were trying to do. It's so dumb.
Which is absolutely essential to deciding on a console or a PC purchase. I'll spare you the suspense on the cost, and I'll tell you that in the US, That build that Digital Foundry did would cost as much as $1,200 to $1,500.
Wow, and it still would not make your point any different. All right, it still would not make his point any more valid because he said that. Like, I don't think he gets it. Like he just said that, oh, a build with the same architecture as the consoles that are coming out are going to be this much. And it's like, okay. And
Yep. And sir,
your point? That doesn't mean that a PC with the same performance will cost that much money. It just means a PC with that same architecture that they put in that video to resemble similar performance will cost that much. Because they even downclock things in that video. Like, they literally took hardware and downclocked it and manipulated it in order to reflect the consoles. Like, you can buy so much on there just for cheaper and by getting something else. That's why I don't understand his point. Like, what is your point with this? It makes no difference. It's like you said a bunch of things and they sound like they sort of make sense, but you really made no point.
It all starts with an Asus B450F motherboard for $120, but you can find a Ryzen compatible motherboard cheaper for about $80, and that brings...
I found one for $50, so your point's equally mute. Okay, and second of all, that's a B450 board. That's not the cheapest chipset. Let's be honest, they're gonna pick a cheap custom board. They're not gonna like allow you to overclock your console. I'm sorry, they're just not gonna do that. So it's gonna be a cheap board with limited features. Like on motherboards that you can buy at a consumer level, right? They have stuff like virtualization, which is important for people who do any sort of work that's virtualized. Say you run a Linux machine and you use Windows to run, I don't know, like editing software or something like that, right? So you have like an Adobe, you use Adobe Premiere, but it's only available on Windows, but you use Linux as, say, your like encoding server. So virtualization is useful there because then you can run Windows programs. Yeah, that's available for consumer hardware, but I've never heard a console being able to do that once. So yeah, your point's dumb.
Brings me to their second flaw.
First of all, we know that the next-gen consoles will have Zen 2 CPU cores. 8 of them with 16 threads have now been confirmed for the PlayStation 5 at least, and I expect the Xbox to be the same. So we've chosen a Ryzen 7 3700X.
The second flaw. A Ryzen 3700X is a $340 CPU, which meets the architecture requirements of Zen 2 of next-generation consoles, but it is also wildly more powerful and faster than the console's Zen 2 semi-custom chip would ever need to be. Going forward, a PC doesn't have to have Zen 2 architecture, so I'd opt instead for a Zen Plus Ryzen 2700X, a 3.7 GHz CPU.
Dude, okay. When I heard this, I had to click off the video. Because he sidesteps his argument and then makes it worse.
can't believe it.
I
can't believe it.
So he makes a whole point of like, oh, a console or a PC that's like similar architecture to the next generation consoles, it's gonna cost more. And then he's like, okay, but like in this one, we know it's not gonna be as powerful, so we can use something from a different architecture and lower the price. It's like, you're making your argument more weak and you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I could literally, your argument would have been better if you just stuck with what they put in.
Like, I mean, he already said it in the beginning, though. Like, nothing's going to outmatch the PC. So why are you why are you trying to build a PC that's like a console if it's not going to perform as well as other PCs?
Yeah, that's why I don't understand.
He's half baking it immediately.
It's like rooting your argument on the same fucking way.
Also, I need a Sony fanboy update. Hold up. Am I blocked? Let me go ahead and see. No.
It's like he's admitting he's disingenuous, but he doesn't realize it.
It's like, yo, I could be wrong about this, but I'm not. Not blocked yet. Still have yet to be blocked. All right, this is interesting.
Like I said, next day. Oh my god,
it,
it's so
it
stupid.
takes a whole day.
I don't know exactly how long he's
Next
got
day
his bot
delivery
set
on
to.
my. Oh man, I can't believe it.
I just don't understand why you would make your argument worse and then literally just like, here are the rules for my argument. Now let me break that real quick and make my argument worse.
Hey, disclaimer, I'm wrong. All right, going on for like, what the fuck? I do like the fact that he's streaming, giving the nice love to Battlefield, but
Battlefront. Say it right.
Battlefront, sorry, Battlefront 2. Though I've never played this map, but
Probably one of the DLC ones.
Yeah.
Anyway.
GPU that is almost half the price at $200. The GPU Digital Foundry chose was the AMD Radeon 5700 XT, which is very close to...
No, they picked an RX 5700 and an RX 5700 XT. Please, if you're going to make an argument, at least cite properly.
The GPU power in Navi that the Xbox Scarlett and PS5 have been confirmed to be built on. The Radeon 5700 XT is a $400 GPU, and already you can see this incomplete build is well over budget of a console. But
Hey, Colt. So I want you to understand something, okay? I know this is so hard to wrap your brain around, right? So, the RX 5700 and the 5700 XT are Navi GPUs. That is true. But what they're talking about in consoles is a custom chip that has both the CPU and the GPU on it. Now, I don't know about you, but most GPUs require that whole big cooler to cool it, right? Because the surface area and voltage. That's how heat works. When you put more voltage into something and multiply that by the surface area, then it gets warmer. Now, I don't know about you, but do you mean to tell me that a whole ass 5700 chip is just going to be side to side with a Zen 1 CPU, since you picked a 2700, and the console, this really small box that is known in all its console generations for having some cooling issues because it gets hot? You mean to tell me that a die size that would probably be close to, like, I want to say 600 to 700 nanometers, maybe even more, is actually going to be able to be cooled by this small little box?
I just feel, again, knows all piece. I don't see what his point is. Because it's like, if you're building a PC, cool, but you're not building a PC to compete with consoles. Why are you even doing that? Like, if you can go for more, or you can go, like, if you're gonna go for a cheap build, you can build a cheaper version of whatever you want than whatever you're fucking spewing right now. So I don't know what. I just don't get it. Can we just stop?
No.
This man is dead to
No.
me.
We got
All
we
right.
got 9 more minutes.
We got 4. Go ahead.
And
We
then
got 4.
And then wait, there's even more to this, right? Because I don't think he understands the concept of an APU. So let's run through it real quick, alright? So a CPU and an APU are... The difference between a CPU and an APU is basically that there's a graphics chip on the CPU, essentially. Not like literally on it, but inside it. So what they do is they take a CPU from an architecture they've already had well developed, and they cut cores or certain things out of it in order to fit the GPU component in it, and that in itself is like a separate little area on the actual CPU itself. So it's essentially like a hybrid. Instead of having a whole separate GPU, you put it on a CPU, but you have to make a cut or else it won't fit.
Right.
So it's not like you're going to get a whole ass CPU and a whole different GPU. It's literally on the same chip. You can't make it past a certain size, essentially, or else voltage times surface area. It produces too much heat. I think it's wattage times surface area, something like that. But yeah,
it's probably wattage. You're right, because of or ampage.
yeah,
Depends.
I forget the exact formula for it, but it's something dealing with electricity with surface area determines how much you have to cool. That's why we don't make chips that are like fucking massive, because it's more things to cool. Fun facts. I don't have an engineering degree, by the way. This is just something that should just be kind of like simple logic if you think about it. Which apparently you don't.
But this GPU does not support ray tracing, so instead, I'd recommend the RTX 2070. Some would say the...
Wait a second. So, it has to be the exact same architecture in order for it to be fair, but we're gonna throw in different things.
You just...
I
don't need to prove that I'm right. I just need to show you.
It's like, well, it doesn't support ray tracing. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can agree with that point. So we're gonna throw in a different GPU, but then it's not the same.
RTX 2070 Super to better match the Navi GPU power. But this meets...
Oh my god!
I'm tired of this, man.
He just like, it's like he's constantly changing the goalposts. It has to be the same architecture, but okay, this one doesn't have ray tracing, so let's go to a different one. Okay, it has to be equivalent performance to the other PC part, but this isn't a PC part. It's supposed to like mimic the console, which I guarantee you isn't going to perform that same way. And right. It's like it's supposed to perform like a console, and it's like, what is your like guidance for this? What benchmark are you like using in order to figure this out? It's so dumb.
Meets the minimum requirements since not all games will support hardware accelerated ray tracing. Many are incredulous that the new consoles can render ray traced reflections and lighting, but expect the consoles to run an optimized, reduced level of ray tracing to keep performance on target at 60 FPS.
So therefore, even your RTX 2070 pick is bad because that is meant for full fidelity ray tracing at 1080p.
It's
He keeps making his argument worse. Oh my god. Alright, so here's this thing that we do in my AP English class. I think you might need the help, alright? So what we do is we actually have an idea of what we're going to write about. Like, we make a prompt and everything, and then we make our statement that, we're going to write about. But we don't include any detail in our actual thesis. Yeah. So we don't include any detail in our thesis. Why? Because maybe our argument changes a bit and we can't go back and correct the thesis because we're under a time crunch. I think maybe you should just like kind of make a sort of thesis thing and then like change it at the very end when you finished making everything, because this makes no sense.
In other words, medium settings with dynamic resolution. If developers choose to use this feature...
Wait, that's what that means? Why does that mean that? Hold up, you just said it, and then I almost missed that. Why did you say that? I'm so confused.
The RTX 2070 is a $450 GPU and essential to enjoy gaming with lifelike lighting and reflections.
What is lifelike lighting? I mean...
lifelike, like not in a video game. In a video game.
It's essential to enjoy lifelike lighting. Okay, that's not true because the RTX 2060 has ray tracing. I can't guarantee it's going to run well, but it does have lifelike lighting. So therefore you have the essentials.
And big games will definitely have this feature as an option next generation.
Okay, fine. I don't know what you're using to cite it, but you know what? Well, I'll give you that. It's going to be an option, so I can see games in the future offering as an option. I can agree with that, sort of, even though you have no citation or evidence.
Even if they are at medium settings, this is likely the settings that a PC gamer would use on a build near this price range.
What?
You heard him. You heard him.
Did this man just say medium settings with dynamic resolution and ray tracing? With, like, not even good ray tracing, just, like, medium ray tracing or something like that, right? Like, pared back is what people with $1,200 to $1,500 computers, that's the settings they're gonna use. Really? They are? Fucking citation needed.
My life needs a citation. I feel like, oh my god.
Every argument this man makes needs citation. He just talks out his ass. Oh my god.
Digital Foundry added...
Okay, Spike, you're dying right now, but you gotta understand,
I am.
like, for me, for the stuff he's saying just makes zero fucking sense. Like, I can understand to, like, the layman who doesn't understand anything, like, okay, this makes like somewhat of sense, but it doesn't even make sense because he moves his goalpost constantly.
He's literally, I mean, he's just trying to put a narrative to something, but no one understands
Does even he understand his own argument?
like, in the video, I mean, he has it in the title, but then he just refuses to, like, continue.
Oh my god.
16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, and when coupled with the GPU VRAM, gets us just over what the PS5 and Scarlett may have in the shared memory pool.
I mean, I don't know why you picked 16 gigs, but okay. I don't know why that was a choice, but you made it, so I'm not even gonna argue with you on that. You just randomly picked it, I guess.
And 16 gigabytes of desktop RAM is an additional $75. And all of this will be loaded onto a 1 terabyte solid state hard drive for $140.
What? Okay, they said they're gonna have SSDs on the next consoles. I believe them with that. Why is it a 1 terabyte SSD though? I don't even.
Because that's what they always have, is 1 terabyte. They always have 1 terabyte. Everything.
No. Okay, but there's a
I know.
difference, right? Like, they can be using tiered storage, which is something that a lot of people are discovering. That if you have an SSD and a hard drive, you can use tiered storage, so that way games you access frequently, after their first boot up, they'll load faster because it will go to the SSD. Why wouldn't they do that? That is a perfect solution to keep costs down. But nope, it's just they're gonna have a terabyte SSD. No issues, nothing. I fucking hate life.
I want to die.
$40, which will get you into games faster with very minimal loading times. SSDs have been around for a while on PC and are becoming more affordable, but it's a nice late addition to console gaming. To power all this, you'll need a 650 watt power supply, which adds $50. A case can be whatever you...
I mean, I don't have too much issue with that. I'm just gonna let you have it, but I'm pretty sure you can find a power supply for cheaper, so.
Want as cheap as $60, and you're just about done. Digital Foundry included a
Okay, again, it doesn't have to be $60. You could find some for cheaper, but whatever,
Yeah.
right?
UHD disk drive for playing movies, but we'll skip that. But we do need a mouse and keyboard or a controller to play games, so let's pretend you bought a $30 mouse and keyboard or a cheap wired gamepad.
Okay, sure. I'm okay with that.
I mean, it depends. Like, if you bought a basic one, that should just not be, like, that's kind of unfair to kind of have to include that into the price, whereas, like, there's, like, I don't know, elite controllers, and you have elite fucking keyboards.
I mean,
Like,
no, but he's
top
like
tier
saying,
keyboards.
I guess he's like trying to say, like, out of the box, if you bought a new console,
Oh.
you're gonna get a controller, so it's like
Oh,
fair to
right,
have like a
right.
decent like keyboard and mouse combo to come with it.
Sure, $30 is really cheap, though.
Yeah.
Windows is practically free at this point, or as low as $10, so we'll skip that too. The PC rig that is purpose-built to match or exceed a next-generation PlayStation and Xbox is going to cost you just about $1,100.
Wow, and your point is still invalid.
Okay. Or I could ump the ante and do better and get better and be better. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
Like,
And
I
even
don't
then,
know.
it's like, okay, but you realize the build you're putting together, right, would outperform that console amazingly. Like, even with the theoretical specs they put out now, it would still outperform it.
Right.
So it makes no sense.
This PC will be at or above the performance of next generation consoles for
He even mentions it. It is guaranteed to be either at or above. Most likely above.
Yeah, definitely above.
the life cycle until the next generation launches in 2026.
What?
All right.
So-
Well, no, they did say they were gonna make it every like 6 years or something like that now.
Oh, they did? Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, like,
Nope, they
citation
did.
needed?
No, they are like releasing them, and they're gonna get to the point where they're gonna be like every 5 minutes. I feel like it's just gonna be the iPhone thing. Where it's
Yeah.
like yearly.
annual PS 700.
Yep.
But in 2020, when the PS5 and Scarlet launch, new hardware will be out, and these prices may take a 15 to 20% price reduction down.
They will.
Hell yeah, dog. They always get price reduced because they added another version, and then it's better.
Yeah, I know.
Why
about
do
the
I have
price reduction.
13 messages from Hagen? What the fuck?
I mean, like, I understand, like, oh, prices go down, but why is he so definitively? It's gonna go down 15 to 20%, guaranteed, no issue.
Yeah.
It's like everything he says needs a citation.
Down to around a $900 or $1,000 build. I know what you're thinking. On PlayStation and Xbox, you have to pay for online, and over the course of 6 years,
Actually, that is a good argument. Because with Steam, you don't have to pay anything.
I mean, it depends. So you can either do like certain prices, yeah, but yeah, for sure. With Steam, like yeah, for a client service, you already have the internet, so you don't need to do anything. Go on, sir. What's your point?
I mean, like, it's actually a good. It's just like, yeah, over time when you have to pay those yearly subscriptions, which they're expensive. They're upwards of $60 if I remember right. So like, you're paying $60 for 6 years. Yeah, you can actually easily justify the price of like a PC that's like slightly more expensive than a console.
Right.
So yeah.
that's an additional $270 or $300, which evens the playing field with a $900 to $1,100 PC. Console gamers should not be required to pay for online, but on Xbox, Gold is free with purchases in Microsoft Rewards, and PS Plus covers the cost of the services.
No. It's purchased with like Xbox Ultimate Pass and all that. Yes, but rewards absolutely not. They do not give gold away at all.
Yeah, they don't. They're pretty restrictive about like ever
Right.
giving gold away.
Yeah, I mean, just recently it got rolled back that you couldn't. I think it still is. Like, if you're on an Xbox, you connect it to the internet and you don't have gold, you can't talk to anyone, anyways.
Yeah.
Like, that's really bad. You're on an. That's why I'm like. That's why they don't have this. I think that's the main reason why they don't have Discord on Microsoft. Like, because it's not gonna fucking work. It would fucking completely trump that.
Basically. I'm just letting go at this point.
If you didn't have to buy 2 or 3 of the games.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be honest with you. Xbox Gold, because like the free games they've given out have been pretty bad.
As of late, yeah. I mean, I got Phantom Pain for free on my Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, like they do
That
have
was a
like
while
some
back.
good releases. I remember like in the past they had some pretty good releases, but like now most of the games they give out are just pretty meh.
Right.
They give you per year. But the barrier to entry with a comparable PC to PS5 and Scarlet is up front, while console gamers, especially on Xbox, can essentially dissolve the year cost of Xbox Live through rewards or Game Pass Ultimate, which
Okay, but what if I don't care about those rewards? Like, I think he misses the point. Like, it's really hit or miss with those subscription services, like, when they actually give out good games. Because lately, I feel like they have given out nothing. So, yeah.
Saves them about $120.
And by the way, on PC, there is such a thing as Humble Monthly, which literally gives you 8 games.
Yeah, and Epic drops games too now.
Yeah, and they've been dropping games like crazy. Humble used to do it, but I think they partnered up with Epic Games to give out games now.
Yeah.
But like Epic's been giving out games like crazy, and Humble Monthly, if you really want to just get like a random list of games every month, then hey, they give you 8 games, and they're gonna roll out with a new program where you actually get to choose what games you get every month. So like, how is like gold rewards even like an actual argument anymore?
$20 a year on first-party games. Unfortunately, the paywall to play online will never go away, and this is just something we have to face. The console.
You just have to face it, dude. You can't be a consumer advocate. You can't say that this is bad, Microsoft. I don't like it. I'm gonna go to another product. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I hate this argument so much. It's like, oh, it's just something you have to deal with. It's like, no, you should be an advocate and like complain because it is BS that you pay for it. Or you could just change platforms and move to PC, but you know, you can't do that because apparently your like nuts are so entangled with Xbox DNA, you just can't leave.
Right.
That would be $500 could essentially cost you almost $800 after the cycle is over because of those online services. As next generation rolls closer and gaming consumers get ready to.
Why did he move to like some Hotline Miami music? What the fuck? That was so jarring.
Spend $500 on the next brand new console, there will always be PC gamers that choose to stay with their current rig or look to upgrade to keep up or surpass the latest hardware available on console.
You know, technically speaking, it's actually cheaper to upgrade on PC because like most of the time.
Oh, I mean, you can't really upgrade on a console because you'll just void the warranty as soon as you open it. Like, you can't do anything with it. And if you open it, they consider that a threat, and they will actually, if they figure out that you have in some way added something to the console, they will boot you, and then they will fucking never allow you to be on there again.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just
So,
ban your account. So,
but like he's making the comparison like, hey, buying a new console, right, versus just upgrading when the new console generation hits, right? Technically, that is cheaper to be on PC because like, really, the only thing you ever upgrade is like your GPU. That's like the biggest thing. Maybe you upgrade your CPU as well, but like, if you've had a decent CPU in like the past 6 years, you're okay.
yeah.
So like that is a good argument. All you have to do is buy a new GPU and boom, you've completely passed consoles already. Like it's sad.
Just as it was with the Xbox One X, the first year or longer is decidedly difficult to match the price per performance, and even more so next generation, which will require a much more capable and more expensive CPU than the PS4 and Xbox One had. If you'd rather spend $400 to $500 on a new GPU, by all means, have at it. Enjoy the benefits of the incredible power increase and visual upgrades on your computer. If you'd rather stick to your favorite console's ecosystem and game library on PlayStation and Xbox, go ahead, enjoy it.
Dude, I want to let you know right now, I was a console gamer for like, I want to say close to like 4 or 5 years, and I made the switch to PC. My library is bigger than my console library ever was, and it's still probably cheaper than how much I've spent on consoles. Like, my library is double the size, probably triple the size of my console, and I've spent less money doing it.
I think, like, I don't know. Like, anytime I've had something, like, every single time, I've always had a fucking controller break. I've always had headsets that break. I just always had something go wrong. Like, I'm not kidding you. My friend had an Xbox 360 that if you were to play a game because of the disk drive got fucked up, for no, like he didn't like throw his Xbox or anything. It just got up on its own. Literally, he had a knife wedged into it so it would run the game. And if he wanted to change the game, he'd lay down with the knife and just hit the thing to open up the disc tray, and then flick it real quick, and then just get it out, like to get the fucking disc tray out. It was like, what? He was like, dude, I have to do it. And it had to be that knife because that knife was like perfectly weighted so that when it was wedged in the perfect way, it was like balanced right. I don't know what the fuck the deal was, but his mom was pissed because she lost her knife. But
But like, yeah, that's another thing too. Is like everyone cites as like, oh, PC is having a bunch of like technical issues, but seriously, you spend less on like actual repairs
right,
because you can do it all yourself, really. Because you don't have to send it back in for like a tiny issues with settings. Like I don't know, say you have like an issue with like the system settings not being correct, you can just do it yourself, and that
right,
you don't have to send it back in or pay anybody to do it. You just do it yourself, call it a day. And then
yeah,
if there's an actual hardware failure, so many companies are so good about their warranties that you'll pretty much get it in like 5 days. Like within a week, you'll get a new part. And then
oh
on
yeah,
top of that, you can, even if it is something like a hardware thing that you can fix, like say it's like a missing thermal pad or something like that, you could literally just take the card apart and fix it yourself. And they can't, and because of a U.S. law, they no longer can say, "Oh, void warranty if removed." It's like, no, the warranty's still in place, even if they say it isn't.
right.
So like, it's actually cheaper, and you get less hardware, and you get less hardware issues at the end of the day because PC stuff is built to last. They
Right.
really are. I bought a secondhand 90 Ti, and it's been going on for like not just in my build, but in their previous build as well. It's been going on for like 5 to 6 years without issue. I think maybe the only issue is like maybe there's coil whine, but that's it, and that's just like a thing that I barely hear anyway. But it doesn't affect performance at all. So, mute point.
If you'd like to pair a new PS5 and skip Xbox with a new PC build and still retain bragging rights, just understand, it's going to cost you considerably.
Oh yeah, and by the way, if Xbox builds up their Play Anywhere platform, you can literally keep quite a bit of your Xbox library because it will just be made available through the Windows Store. So you can play your games on either platform. So even if you don't get a new Xbox next year, hey, you still have quite a bit of your library available to you. Plus there's Game Pass.
Yeah.
So it's like it makes it harder to actually justify getting a console anymore. Like it just is at this point.
There's no allure to it for me. I mean, other than my friends playing on console, like that's literally.
I mean, I used to. That was the same thing for me. Like, I had 5 to 6 years. I had friends in games I used to play all the time that I made a Switch, and it was like completely brand new. And then now my Discord friends list is like huge, unless
Yeah.
like I actually clean it up. And then I know a lot of people on Steam. I know a lot of people on Discord, Twitch. Like PC is probably the biggest social platform ever. People are so active on Discord. Like you can just hop on a server and just talk to anybody. It's kind
Yeah.
of nuts.
More upfront, and with that, you may find more in the overall experience that PC allows. But be excited, next generation is going to push games forward, and consoles are going to push PCs, and in the end,
Consoles are gonna push PC. They are? I mean, they will.
Yeah, man. They're gonna get it.
I don't think he gets that, like, people just demand better performance over time. And you now have two companies that are competing pretty well with each other, so they're going to constantly keep improving things because it's not like consoles have ever really improved things for PC. I think the only thing they've really ever done was, like, certain features that are offered at, like, a very base level are now more offered on PC now since it's, like, you know, the mass audience. But if consoles were to disappear, those would still be available probably faster because there's no cycle generation to follow. So they just implement it as soon as they get the like option to actually implement it at the start of development. So what? I don't. He makes me. This man makes my brain hurt.
No matter where you decide to play, we all have a lot to look forward to. This is Colt Eastwood.
I get to look forward to fanboys praising the new consoles, basically until they get launched, and then immediately everyone's like, oh, they didn't perform as expected. Oh, I wonder why. That's what I'm looking forward to. So I don't care.
I don't think like Xbox underperformed. It's just that like expectations were just way too high for it.
I mean, yeah, but technically
Which
speaking,
I mean does say it underperformed, but I mean like it underperformed in the same way that like I don't know. I think it was just overhyped.
It was overhyped. I don't blame you there. It's just what I'm saying is like whenever they release these specs and everything like that, people are excited like, oh, it's gonna have this and this performance, but like it never does. Matter of fact, it's like below expectation a lot of the time because well, it has to fit a certain price point and has to fit a certain size. Like those two restrictions are pretty big. Like why do you think most PCs are big? Because there's more cold air and there's more cooling available. Like that actually helps with driving the cost down instead of having to compress it all in this tiny box. I mean,
Right.
not tiny in the sense of like the actual size, but in comparison to PCs, they are tiny. Like it's a big issue, and I think people just forget like, hey, these are tech, like these are feats of engineering. Like the Xbox One and the PS4 were fucking feats. The fact that they worked and like the way they performed with the horrible architecture they were stuck with is a feat.
Thank you so much for watching and making it this far into the video.
You said thank you so much for watching, and it's 9 minutes and 17 seconds.
Thank you for making it this far in the video. I know.
It was...
You made it a great challenge.
Dude, I'm sitting here because I had to like kill my fan so it doesn't add noise in the background. I'm sweating.
He killed some fans too.
But yeah, like I'm sweating and you're making my headache worse. This was an ordeal.
If you did make it this far and haven't backed out, type in the comments, Picaro. If you stick around even longer, I've got some extra information about the channel. Because
oh, about your channel, I don't care.
Yeah, about your channel.
I was gonna say you as soon as you said
Would you call it insider information?
Oh my god, dude, I'm sweating.
Because I got some insider information about my life too, man.
Dude, matter of fact, it's so insider, like not even anyone else knows this but me. Like that's how inside I am. Oh my god. Okay. This is a video from Ahoy about graphics. You know what? That's what he should do. He should go follow Ahoy. Ahoy is actually really good about like explaining things. Oh my god. Oh wait, Spike, if you don't know a YouTuber called Ahoy, if you are a gun nut and you like video games, it's actually really cool. He did a whole video talking about like the history of guns in video games and like how they became popular and stuff like that. It's so cool. There's like an entire playlist with it. But here, I'll send you a link to his channel real quick.
You know, leave me a sub too. You know, give him a sub for me too.
Colt Eastwood?
No, I said hi.
No, I'm not fucking. He wants to join the podcast? Well, he should have told me that before, so. Get fuck loser.
Oh, Hagen? Yeah, I know. I mean, he was spamming me, like, adding me, spamming.
Yeah, I don't think he understands. Once it's, like, ongoing, it's ongoing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. I just let him, you know.
Oh, I was not paying attention to chat, actually. He is right, I wasn't paying attention just because I got focused into the video. That's my bad. Yeah, Ahoy is a great YouTuber. If you know him, good for you. But yeah, Iconic Arms, that's what it was called.
You know, Ben Affleck's a good actor. If you know him, good for you. I don't.
Yeah, good for
what?
you.
What was that comment?
I don't know, just like if you know who Ahoy is, you've made a good decision in your life somewhere. But yeah, he's got like the history of the Deagle Gun games, the AK-47, the Arctic Warfare, the Beretta 92, the double barrel shotgun, the M1 Garand, the MP5. Like, he did a whole big series on it, and it's so good. Anyway, that's it. Oh my god, dude,
I find myself. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I am sweating.
Are you?
Yeah, it's so hot in my room.
Get a fan, bruh. Stop
I
using
can't-
all those watts.
I can't turn it on.
Fire.
Oh my god. So do you want to add anything before I go through my ending spiel?
For the most part, no. I think for the most part, consoles are always going to exist because everyone wants to have just the easiest thing. I mean, that's why racism still exists because it's so easy just to blame one person.
Yeah.
For an event. I mean,
Yeah,
that's been going on
because
since forever.
everyone in Germany is Hitler, essentially. Right?
Everyone enjoys being a type of Hitler. Yes, I would say that.
Everyone enjoys being a type of Hitler. That's an interesting statement. In summary, what did this podcast cover? Literally nothing except YouTube bad. And people who are
YouTube
dumb
very
bad.
no. YouTube robot dumb.
Yeah, in which case. Oh my god, did JTech actually block you yet or no? Where are we at with that?
That's a great update to find out. Let me go ahead and alt tab out and wrong Firefox window. Let me refresh the page. No ban yet. I don't know. This might be the hardest challenge yet. I'm gonna get banned.
It's just like that Club Penguin challenge. How fast can you get banned?
Oh my.
That's an actual challenge.
For you doing that, just killed my fucking Modern Warfare. It literally just fucking crashed. That's so bad. Well, I think it's because I have like a YouTube channel open. I have the stream open. I'm gonna close the stream. I don't need to see what you're seeing. And now he's
Okay.
What the hell did Hagen say to me? Normie. He called me still haven't Normie. All right.
And then he tells me to get a fan. I have a fan. If I had a webcam, I would show it. It's like right behind me. I just can't have it turned on, or else it makes too much noise.
I want to send you a webcam that's only like a megapixel, a single megapixel. Yeah, I want to see like. I want to Google that right now.
What does it look like? It's just one pixel. It's one color.
A 1 MP camera. 1 megapixel. It's starting at $38. What? No. I want a. What is it called? I know it's a cam, a stream cam.
There's actually a really good stream cam that I found like a long time ago. It's pretty cheap. What is it? It's like the Logitech C920. Yeah, Logitech
Mini
C920.
USB camera, 1 megapixel USB webcam, super mini. Oh man, this thing is like for spying on people. It's $30, and let me send you the link.
I went to Logitech's website and C920 HD Pro, and it gave me the price in Hong Kong dollars.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
All
Interesting.
I'm just gonna Google webcam not Google, but search webcam and just do by price.
Here we go. Logitech HD Pro Webcam C920. It's like $50, and it's actually pretty popular.
Here we go. Max. Here we go. $5.
Max
Go.
$5. Dude, if you have to spend $5 on a webcam, I think you have more important things to worry about than buying a webcam. Just saying.
All right. GigaWare has a 1.3 megapixel one.
That is something you put in like a suit to spy on someone. Like,
yeah, you see that one? That one's so bad. That one's so small.
Like, it looks like I would be using that to like secretly record someone, like as a spy.
There's one called 8 million pixels mini webcam HD with computer camera with microphone for desktop, laptop, USB plug, and play for video calling.
Wow, it's got so many features.
I know. 8 million pixel though.
Only 8 million? Why not 12?
I think it's I don't even know what the fuck this is. It says it's a fucking. I want to see the actual stats on it.
All right. Anyway, let me.
It's sold by Lamijua, or I probably.
Lamijua.
Well, let me type it in. It's Lamijua. I don't know how else you say that, but it says up to 8 megapixels. That's no. I want less. I want small. I don't know. It's only $3. You want me to send it to you, Brian? Free shipping.
No.
You don't want a $3 camera?
No, I don't want a $3 camera.
Let
That
me
is.
send you this.
No. That is just more junk to go into the closet.
What? You don't have a webcam?
I don't have a webcam. I do need a
There you go.
webcam, but I don't need a crappy webcam.
That would just, dude, I would love it. It's like your grandma. Your grandmother's like, "Yo, get me this shit," and like, your grandmother's like, "Okay," and gets you the exact wrong thing.
Yeah.
Worst
Like
version. Of it.
Yeah, it's like it's the exact thing you wanted, but worse.
Yeah, this camera is so tiny. The first one I sent you. That is literally just to spy on someone. Like, you don't even need the USB thing. It's literally just the circuit board and the plug. Like, if you go down to like the fourth picture down, it's literally just shows you the side view. It's literally just a circuit board with a plugged in.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Again, that is something used to spy on someone. That's not something you just have.
Yeah. 720p USB camera board. What do you mean 720p, dude? You're getting 1 MP. I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh man, but yeah, that other one, dude. All right, are you kidding me? Look at that. That thing is as tiny and is probably is way shittier with the fact that it has a zip cord thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
All right. Anyway,
All right.
that is the end of the stream.
The thing I wanted to add to your podcast, well, I mean, what I wanted to add was that one thing was about James Dean. Did you hear about that?
No.
So what they're doing, and I'm like, this is just completely
where
off the top of my
they're
head.
gonna like use like a CGI.
Yeah, they're
that
CGI.
Is so weird.
So and like because like I think his family has allowed it to happen. They went after her. I mean, not her, but like they went to the family to ask for permission, which I guess is okay, but it's still like wrong because you're taking jobs away from an actor, and it's kind of weird because it's like if you do it for say you do it for I almost called him Nansen, but Mandela. I just forgot his first name. But if you did it for Mandela as a biopic, that's kind of weird and kind of strange too because you're not really getting the actor's feelings. But it would still kind of work. But when you're doing it just to replace an actor to fill a role, just seems kind of wrong. Like you're using them for whatever the fuck they would. I don't know. It just feels weird. And it just I don't man, that's still gonna be the future. It's like, hey, we're gonna use deepfakes. Like
I wonder if it's like cheaper.
I don't know.
Because like you have the added time of rendering, plus you have to have someone to actually like model it to be realistic and everything like that. Like that could be pretty expensive.
Well, I mean, what if Star Wars did a like Carrie Fisher's still alive, right? And the original idea before Carrie Fisher passed away was actually to have Carrie Fisher character be the Last Jedi. That was the idea behind it. That's why she was Force sensitive, and that the Last Jedi. That's what they wanted to build up to as well, and I have that as a major plot point. What if they were to do a fucking prequel or something like that with Leia or some other bullshit and actually use, and so she would voice it and all that, but she would, you know what I mean? Like it was some time between the Last Jedi. I mean, what was it? Or the New Hope and, well, not New Hope. What's the other one before that? The Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah, Strikes Back.
and then Return of the Jedi. So it's between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, like some sort of thing like that, where it's just marriage problems with Han. I don't know. Like you kind of add that. That I would be okay with because the actor's still alive. You're not, you know what I mean? But even if the actor isn't alive, I don't know. That'd be pretty interesting to use, especially for the likeness, because she always played that character. She reprised the role. Maybe that's fine, but I don't know. Like, do you just continue with Paul Walker, like completely being gone?
I don't know.
Uh,
I feel weird about that. Like I feel like, hey, just recast it. Like I don't. It
yeah.
doesn't need to be the exact same person. I'm
I
okay
mean,
with it being
for
a
a
recasted.
series that include Cardi B, I feel like they don't need to really have that. Like, they don't need to have that man ever back. I don't know. So it would be neat if they just did it as a surprise, but still like disappointing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I feel like if this movie is just known for that and is literally just like getting all their success from that, not even their success, but all their attention from that, and then shame on them because they're kind of just deriving themselves away from what actually is cinema in Scorsese's eyes. But like, I don't know.
I still remember that
Honestly.
statement.
Oh my god,
Marvel isn't
he
cinema.
doubled down on it. He doubled down on it. I
He
don't
did.
care. I don't care. Whatever, man. Like, I don't know. Tomato, tomato. All right. Closing statements. Trump bad.
Yeah, Trump bad. Kamala Trump bad Harris.
Yep.
Solve all your problems militarily. Oh, sorry, solve military problems militarily. My bad.
Correct.
Console fanboys are just the worst. They
Right.
made our brains melt.
No matter which console you're, supporting, PS4, Xbox, Switch, Dreamcast, go fuck yourself.
I like it. There's just gonna be like some guy. It's like Sega's still the best.
the one Dreamcast guy, like, what?
Sega made the
All
best
right,
console.
sir. Pulls out Raspberry Pi. Like,
but anyway, yeah, that is it. Remember, if you follow, you're 10% cooler. That's it. You're just 10% cooler. That's about it. You know, he normally says that you can even it out by following him, but like, no, there's no evening out. I am unequivocally just cooler.
It's superior.
Yeah. So therefore,
cool superior.
Therefore, no, it's like a RPG mechanic, right? It's like if you wear glasses, you get plus 10 perception, but it can't. But like, you're also immune from any perception debuffs. So like, it's basically like that. So you're like 10% cooler, and it provides you an immunity from coolness debuffs.
Oh.
See, epic, right? That's why you should follow me. Anyway, it was nice knowing you people. Welcome. I did not pay attention to what chat a lot. I was too worried about my brain fucking being fried by Cold Eastwood. But to all, a good night.